Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tristan Lowe. The channel is called Health No Filter, and here we are now mid-March 2026, and my guest today is Sarah Washbourn of Yellowbelly Photography. How you doing, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. You,
Pleased to
Tristan?
meet you.
Yeah, and you?
All right, that's a good hand grip, by the way. Good strong grip.
No wet fish.
No. All right, so okay, I'm holding up here this one was from about 17 years ago. One of my study books from when I went to study in Nottingham to be a sports massage therapist. What's that book you've got there, Sarah?
This is called Marathoning You Can Do It by Jeff Galloway.
Let's have a look.
Yep.
Marathon You Can Do It by Jeff Galloway. Now, I happen to know, because you posted it on social media the other day, didn't this gentleman pass away?
He has, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
How old was he roughly?
About in his 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy, Jeff Galloway, was he the doyen of marathon running?
Basically, he's made marathon running doable for all abilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, which brings us to why you come in to see us today.
Yeah.
All right then, let's start. I'll take your book
Yeah.
then. I'll tell you something. Oh, this is here. It's a revised edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe one day I'll get to it. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, right. All right. So, Sarah, Yellowbelly Photography.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear, I met Sarah a couple of years ago. She came to our centre in Lincoln for a sports massage, and subsequently I've bumped into her a couple of times at the business clubs in Lincoln.
Yeah.
And my business is the body,
Yeah.
personal training and sports massage, and your business is what?
Shooting people.
All right, explain.
No, basically I'm a photographer. I've done this for 20 years. I started out in press photography and I did that for 15 years. I went freelance over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've photographed all sorts of walks of life, all people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
I've been to places like Buckingham Palace, Downing Street, Leicester Square.
All right. So you know,
Photographed, athletes, Jessica Ennis-Hill.
Okay.
I worked in a city of Sheffield.
All right, yeah.
So,
yeah.
but nowadays I mainly photograph anything with doors and anything with paws.
Doors and paws.
Doors
All right,
and paws.
explain this.
So doors is real estate photography.
Yeah.
So properties for sale.
So those are in England, that's
properties.
houses.
Yeah. Holiday cottages.
Right.
I can do commercial buildings
Yep.
and such forth. And then the other is animals, predominantly dogs. And rather than photographing a studio,
Yeah.
we go out on location and I let dogs just do their natural thing and get them in their environment rather than a studio that's probably a bit scary to them.
Okay,
and I
yeah.
just do more candid shots of dogs.
Right.
So that's pretty much what I do now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 20 years in the photography industry, you would have seen technology, either move forward really quickly. I mean, to give an example, I'm using this iPhone here. I use this to shoot my videos.
Yep.
But of course, everyone's got a camera now, an iPhone camera.
Yep.
We're all experts suddenly, aren't we?
Yes.
But we're not. I realise we're not.
Yes.
There's a lot goes into it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of film, of
Yep.
cinema, and I understand that to shoot a film on film and all the moving parts that go
Yep.
through to it. When I say understand, I appreciate.
Yep.
And so I can imagine that a cinematographer, like some of your best cinematographers in the world, those guys and those women as well that do it for a profession at a high level for elite movies in Hollywood,
Yep.
they must have not just a very good eye, but the technical experience as well for how technology
Yep.
moves forward. So give us an idea, why is everyone like me an expert suddenly? Because we've got an iPhone and a camera on it.
Because they've just made the cameras on the phone so good and so easy to use.
Yeah.
Even the editing of just removing things from the photos.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into photography just as digital was coming in.
Yeah.
And so that made it quite easy for me because I could see instant results.
Yeah.
Now, my father before me, he was a photographer for over 40 years for the Lincolnshire Echo.
Right.
And he started off with what they call a box brownie.
Right.
And then he went on to plate cameras. So I don't know if you've heard of glass plate cameras.
No.
So it's literally various models of cameras. It's one of these where you would look down it.
Gotcha, I know what you mean now.
2 lens reflex
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
And then the initial ones were glass plates. So this is literally a piece of glass.
At an angle.
Goes into the back of the camera.
Yeah.
And the exposure is
I don't know what you mean
on the
now.
glass.
He was shooting like that?
Yeah.
Like in the movie?
So
yeah. Okay.
he could because due to the weight of carrying them, he could only carry about 12 of these with him in a day.
Yeah.
So regardless of how many jobs he had, so he could probably only get one photo from each job.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he always told me this story of up at RAF Waddington, the nearby base. There was an aircraft coming in that was never been in this country before. He had one glass plate left.
Right.
He had to get the shot.
Yeah.
So like you say, it's all down to technical skill.
Yeah.
And I guess that's where my photography comes from. So I didn't initially do photography straight from school. I actually went into IT.
Yeah. Okay.
But that then gave me the basis for being able to do Photoshop,
Gotcha.
edit images
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess as I say, it was in the blood, and it was
Yeah.
actually after about 10 years after we retired that I really started to pick up a camera.
Gotcha. All right. So there's some of the history there,
Yeah,
because you know. That's interesting then. You've been in the industry for 20 years
Yeah.
as a professional. Is it 20 years as a professional photographer?
Yes.
Or so
Yeah.
you turned pro 20 years ago.
Yeah. But as a child, so at weekends, because Dad would often work, we would go with him to work for days out.
Yeah.
And then he would have to go back, develop all the films.
So he was around it.
I was around it, so
Yeah.
I was there drying the prints through the roller.
That's super.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Yeah.
I mean this genuinely. That's
Yeah.
a really good story.
Yeah.
There. That's actually quite an interesting story. It's the kind of thing that you'd see on TV or on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Daughter takes up the photography mantelpiece from the dad, showing your dad working with reflex cameras, plate photography
Yeah.
like we call it, and big and heavy, and they flash. And now here we are,
Yeah.
and you've got all the gear and some idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And to be honest, Tristan, as well now, it's very rare when I go on holiday, I will take my big cameras.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
I will admit,
Yeah.
the
You're fast,
iPhones, the Samsungs,
Yeah.
they are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's incumbent upon Apple, which is essentially a business, well, it is a business to make money. It is down to the clever people at Apple and other manufacturers as well to make these phones, make the cameras work well, and like you said, just to remind me, make them easy to use as
Yeah.
well, because that's what sells.
Yeah.
I've got no idea about videography or photography, but I happen to know that you use drone photography. Is that
Yes,
right? Or
I do,
drone-
yes.
Is it videography or photography?
Both. So I do stills and video.
So people do stills off drones.
Yes.
Does it take the shot in a still shot, or does it take it a video and you take a chunk out of the video?
So it does a still shot, and what it's got is what they call a gimbal.
Right. Yeah.
So the lens
Moving
is
device.
like,
Yeah.
so as the drone is moving,
Yeah.
it stabilises.
Yeah.
So I've actually done video, so sometimes when you do video, you can have the drone hovering,
Mhm.
and with the drone I've got, it's quite small, so you're limited on what wind speed you can fly
Yeah.
up to, with it being so lightweight.
Yeah.
But it astounds me, even at 20-mile-an-hour wind, you've got the video just hovering, and you would think it was on a really tall pole,
Yeah, but
because
it's
it is that
the gimbal
steady.
works out
Yeah,
well.
the gimbal works out well.
Yeah. They used to have them in, or they probably still do, in GoPro cameras.
Yes.
I
yeah.
think I went through GoPro 7 model, 8 model, Hero 8 model,
Yeah.
and they had a gimbal plus the fisheye lens as well, which
Yeah.
would really make things look cinematic
Yeah.
almost, or almost sometimes quite eerie looking.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a fisheye lens and it's on this gimbal, and the reason I know about gimbals is, what little I know about gimbals is because the movie director, Christopher Nolan, he used the gimbal when he was making films like Interstellar, Inception.
Yep.
They have these massive, huge mechanical contraptions that enables us to look at something even though while something's moving. It's essentially like an optic stabilizer.
Yeah.
Interesting, you've got that on a drone as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so is that a skill learned, or could I buy that pack today and by tomorrow I could use it?
They are pretty easy to use.
Mhm.
You've obviously got to have the correct licenses,
Yeah, okay.
especially for commercial use.
Yeah.
And as well, I only use a drone which is under 250 grams.
Right.
So that means I can use it in more places
Yeah.
than these bigger
Yeah.
drones. The bigger
Okay.
drones, you would have to take a different type of license
Mhm.
to legally
With
fly
all the
them.
multi little propellers on it and what have you.
And you have to basically renew your license every year. You have to do an exam
I didn't know you had to have a license to
Yeah.
fly drones. Or at least at that level.
for commercial. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You have to have ID on the drone, so if
Yeah.
your drone is found, they can link
Right.
it back to you.
Wow, that's really
You have to
interesting.
know where you can and can't fly a drone.
Yeah.
So like round
Over
Lincoln,
Buckingham Palace or something.
so round Lincoln, all the air bases,
Yeah,
you are
obviously.
very limited.
Yeah.
And sometimes in certain circumstances, if you contact the airbase, they
Mhm.
will allow you
Right.
in their restriction zone.
Yeah.
But I mean, like at the moment up at Waddington, there's a big Operation Cobra. So they've got international flight teams coming out, the skies are really busy, so
Yeah.
it's less likely I can actually use it at the
It
moment.
sounds
now
really
Lincoln.
important as well.
Yeah.
International Cobra.
Yeah.
Operation Cobra.
Cobra, yeah.
It
it's
sounds
something
really
like that.
kind of like
yeah.
80s, like an 80s action. Well, it was an 80s action movie, you know what I mean? Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
when I first started flying the drone, I was really conscious of where I was flying in Lincoln, because over my house, I have the red arrows flying over nearly every day. And it's like the last thing I want to do is bring down a red arrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that they would. I hope they wouldn't fly as low. So I can only fly up to 120. I hope they wouldn't fly that low. I know they do fly low, but
yeah. Or even worse than that, a red arrow bringing down your drone. Because that's really serious.
Into the cathedral.
Yeah, into the cathedral, yeah. Picture of you on TV, woman, big taking leg away, you know. Okay, right, stranger things have happened, Sarah.
Yes, yeah.
All right, let's move on to your athletic performance, running.
Yep.
Right, let's start from the top. When did you start running?
What I would call proper running when I was mid-30s.
Okay, okay, so you're late 30s now.
Yeah.
See, got to be
Flattery gets you
nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started what's proper running then?
Right, so when I was a child, I had asthma, exercise-induced asthma.
Yeah.
So I couldn't run around a 400-metre track without needing an inhaler.
Yeah, okay.
So but what I was told was good for asthma was swimming.
Right.
So guess what I was good at?
Yeah, swimming. Yeah.
Anyway, when I got into my 30s, I just I'd joined gyms. I'd actually done a bit of kickboxing, which I enjoyed.
Okay,
that was good fun.
Yeah.
I was told I'd be good fighting.
Okay.
But I like my nose too much, so I just stuck to fitness.
Yeah.
Anyway, in my mid-30s, I just wanted to lose a bit of weight, and I decided to do, in effect, like a couch to 10k equivalent.
Yep.
And I did it on a treadmill.
Right,
Now,
okay.
if you told me to do that now, as you may well know, Tristan, a lot of athletes call the treadmill the dreadmill.
Yeah.
Because it's just monotonous running with the same view.
Yeah.
So
and you
anyway,
don't get the same quality oxygen in your body either because it's
that's
indoors.
right. So I did it over about 3 months on the treadmill, and I built up to it.
Great. Yeah.
And then after that, I thought, right, the Lincoln 10K is coming up in about 4 months' time. I'm going to transfer that to the road.
Yeah.
So then I went back to the road, and it was completely different because on a treadmill, it was so soft on your joints and stuff.
And you were how old then? 31, did you say?
About 35.
35. Yeah. And how many years ago was this?
We're talking about 15 years ago.
Okay, so now we know your age.
Yeah, no, I don't care.
See what I've done there? It's called finding a way. Okay, so, all right then, so you've gone from 3 months indoors running on a treadmill, great start, to running outdoors. And what's the big difference then for you when you run outdoors?
I started getting problems with my legs. Yeah, because it was, I was in running shoes, but they weren't the right running shoes. Yeah. So I went to the local running store, he's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. 15 years down the line, he still knows what size I am, what make I normally use.
Lincolnshire Runner, was it?
Lincolnshire Runner, Keith,
Got a lot of clients that come to our centre to go to Lincolnshire Runner. I myself go there as well. Yeah. Not only there, but because it's only a short walk from where I live as well. And it's good, okay.
Yeah. So then I transferred to running to the road, and I went on to do the Lincoln 10K.
Excellent.
And then
what was your
time? I can't remember. Something like hour 7, something like that. Yeah.
A lot of people when they start it first time, they say I want to break an hour. Yeah. And then it's 55, then 50, but generally, okay, an hour and 5, an hour and 7. What's your times now?
I have broken the hour.
Okay.
So I'm not really training for 10k at the minute. I'm training for long distance.
Yeah.
But after the Lincoln 10k, I decided to join a run club, and I love that, the social aspect of it and everything. And I carried on my running.
Was that in Lincoln?
Yeah, Lincoln and District runners.
What was the average age? And was it men or women mix?
Mixture. I would say. Then it was probably people late 20s up to pensioners.
Oh, okay. So like a 30 to 40 year spread across the age, yeah?
So up to like old age, almost pensioners. Yeah.
Someone who's like 70 something or what?
Well, we've got one current member who I think, Brian, he is now 78.
Wow.
And he still does half marathons.
Super. Yeah, from kids in their late teens. That's a huge spread, yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you joined the running club, yeah?
Yep. So then I didn't have any ambitions then to do anything more than a 10k. So anyway, I trained again for the following year for Lincoln 10k.
Yeah.
Done all the training, and the month before, so in the March, my dad was rushing into hospital. He'd been a little bit unwell for about 6 months. They put it down to an allergy because he had this strange rash.
Yep.
Anyway, it was going on and on. He went back to the doctors and said, right, we'll do your bloods. We'll call you back in a couple of days when we've got the results.
Was he still working at the time this time?
No, he was retired. He'd been retired about 10 years.
All right.
And they literally the next day they phoned him up and said, there's something wrong with your blood. You need to get yourself to hospital now.
Mm-hmm.
So they went up and they did a few more tests, and turns out he had leukemia.
Oh, okay.
And which was a shock because I think I'd always associated leukemia with bruising, not with hives. Mm-hmm. And they said themselves it was very rare. Turns out the type of leukemia he had, something like there's only 10 people in America got this type of leukemia, so really rare.
Okay.
So anyway, they basically got him on chemo straight away, but sadly he was only in hospital 10 days.
Right.
On the 9th day was his birthday, and he was moved into intensive care. We went to see him. That night we got the phone call, this was the night before the Lincoln 10k race, to say, he's deteriorated, you better get the family in. Yeah. So we all went in and they said, he's really deteriorating. He's on a CPAP thing to help his breathing. Yeah. Basically, we removed that, he's going to die. Yeah. Do you want us to do that? And the family all agreed and we let him go. Okay. Just before we let him go, we read his birthday cards to him because he'd not seen them.
And what was his age at the time?
He was 76.
Okay.
And then after he passed away, bless him, I said to my sister, this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, I says, I can't do that 10k tomorrow. Okay. And she says, yes, you can. Yeah. And after about 1 hour's sleep, 2 spoonfuls of porridge, because I just couldn't eat anything. Sure. I went and did it and I PB'd. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Not just not the PB, but good for you. And actually, had you not run, still good for you. Yeah. There isn't no answer to something like that. I suspect that 9 out of 10 people wouldn't have run, and 100 out of 100 people would agree with them. Yeah. Yeah, but you chose to run with your sisters, helping, sort of cheering you on. But actually, whatever you did at that time is the right answer. Yeah. But I wonder, did that run you did the next day, is that why you're here talking about running now? Would you have stopped running eventually, or did it give you that?
It gave me inspiration. Yeah. So after that, later on that year, I went on to do my first half marathon.
Wow. 13 and a quarter miles, 13 and a half
13.1.
30 miles, yeah. And you're not going to ask, what was your time? 2.5, I'm going to go, answer was 2:40.
No, it was about 2:20, I think.
Oh, well done. Yeah, because I thought 2:30. Yeah. I thought add on another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like,
but I always thought when I did that, I would cry at the end. Okay. But I didn't. I cried at the start. Yeah. Okay. I think all that build up to it and the emotion came out. Yeah. But I loved it. Yeah. And when was that? That was 2013. Yeah.
In Lincoln or?
I did that in Nottingham.
Nottingham. Yeah. Did it go through the city or?
Yes. And out through sort of near the water sports centre around there, through the Boots, Boots the chemist, they've got a big place out there, so it went all through that, and partly through the centre. Yeah,
that water sport, it's a big place that, because the lake, you can run around the perimeter of that lake.
Oh, I've done a race there as well.
It's enormous, isn't it?
That canoeing lake.
The canoeing lake, and it's got the big grandstand and whatnot, the big board, it's called, I forget, but it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, Home Clear Point.
That's it, In fact, I think across the road as well. It's on the way out of Nottingham towards the bypass, and it's a big place. It's huge, Okay, so now you've gone from 10k running to half marathons. Yep. What was the next step after that?
So I think then sort of running my own business took over a bit. I was still doing 10k races. Yeah. I did couple more half marathons where I PB'd at called the North Lincolnshire Half Marathon. So starts and finishes in Scunthorpe. Right. Okay. But it's pretty flat. Yeah. And was it the second time I did that one, I PB'd, and I got down to 2 hours 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Superb. Yeah.
And then so then after that, got quite busy with running my own business, but still doing bits. And then in 2015, which was the first year I was self-employed, I got pneumonia.
Oh, crikey.
And I think it was pressures of running your own business, just doing too much.
Yeah.
You get a virus and it just...
Yeah. And essentially you jeopardise your immune system.
Yes, yeah. So that took about something like 3 lots of antibiotics to sort that out.
Yeah.
And then that year I decided to sign up again in Nottingham for survival of the fittest.
Right. And what's that?
That's a bit like, what do they call them? Like it's gone, you know.
Triathlons?
No, not triathlon.
Tough mudders?
Like a smaller, tough mudder, but without the mud.
Okay.
So obstacles and everything.
Yeah.
That was in the September.
Right.
So bear in mind, it was only in the May when I got pneumonia.
Yeah.
And I did it, but the one thing I didn't do was any upper body strength.
Right.
So when I got to some of these climbing things, I just ran round them.
I did that. You know what? 9 out of 10 for honesty. You know, not 10 out of 10, just 9 out of 10. I wonder how many people would have said that to you and told me that. Okay.
And the thing about that was at the end, for those who watch Gladiators, the travelator at the end.
Right.
There was one of them.
Yeah.
Well, I could not do it.
So what was it, indoors or outdoors?
It's outdoor.
Oh, so how do they build like
So
a conveyor belt type?
Yeah, so that was at the end. So it sort of started and finished by the side of the train.
Yeah.
And you actually ran through Nottingham Forest ground. You're going up and down the steps. That was one of the things.
Superb, yeah.
And the travelator at the end. I think I gave it 3 attempts, and then I just walked round, wait for my friend.
Tried. Yeah.
She got to the top, and there was no crash mat or anything to jump down on. She says, "How do I get down?"
Yeah.
I says, "Slide down the pole."
Oh, right. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Those things, though, there's been certainly in the last 20 years, there's been a huge rise in those kind of obstacle courses, assault courses, tough mudder. What was the one that you did call?
It was called Men's Fitness Survival of the Fittest.
So,
yeah.
There's a lot of those,
Yeah.
and I think I think Men's Health and those kind of fitness magazines, and some women's magazines, but I think probably more so those Men's Health and Fitness magazines, and of course the internet and social really help to push that.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course the one at the moment, you know, I think the era of CrossFit era has peaked already.
Yeah.
It's definitely, because CrossFit was a big deal when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
It wasn't for me, I never did it, but I know enough people that did. The one now that a lot of people, it's High Rocks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I personally know a few people that have done it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because the 3 people I'm thinking of are all women, young women.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing about blokes that are doing it, and yet when you look on the adverts, they show blokes there as well.
Yeah.
Why has High Rocks become so popular with women, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll throw a guess there. Because it sounds cool. Because it sounds cool. They didn't call it. They didn't call it sliders, did they? Or,
no.
You know, or whatever. But it sounds cool. It looks cool. And guess what? They have it in different cities around Europe.
Yeah.
So you get
around
to go
the world.
around the world.
They,
Okay. So you get to go. Oh yeah, because I know someone went to High Rocks in America.
Yes. Yeah.
That's 4 people I know then. So
yeah.
Okay. So you get to go to cool cities. You get to travel. You get to meet people.
Yeah.
You might go with one of your best friends, husband, wife, whoever it is, work colleague. Could go solo.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool thing to do.
It's a nice mixture of things
Yeah,
to do. It's
yeah.
not all running. It's not all strength. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, the reason I say that, Sarah, because one day we'll be talking, or at the very least thinking, oh, do you remember High Rocks? Because it won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
What will always be a thing is running, though.
Yeah.
Actual running.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently it's been around since the Neanderthal times, you know,
Yeah.
so because they've had to forage or whatever. But I think as cool as running, I'm using the word cool, it's a matter of, you know, it's subjective.
Yeah.
But I think the thing with running, it doesn't go in or out, it's always in.
Yeah.
Oh, right, different manufacturers running shoes at the moment. Everyone's wearing Hoka, On Cloud, or Brooks, Salomon. I like wearing Salomon and Cloud. But I think running will always be in. Whereas these things, CrossFit, High Rocks, Tough Mudder, Survival of the Fittest, those things they peter out eventually, and they're replaced by something else with a cool sounding name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think when you get past the 13-mile barrier and you know you can run half a marathon.
Yeah.
What does the mind and body do to actually, because you can now visualise, right, what to do that and do another one straight away? Talk me through that.
What, to do another half marathon?
Well, once you've done the half marathons enough to then train for a full marathon.
I think that's when I found this book, the Jeff Galloway method.
Yeah.
Basically, his method of running is run walk.
Okay.
The ratio of run to walk depends on what your running pace is.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I'd always had a battle with myself that I didn't want to walk when I ran, because that's what everybody did. You've just got to run it all. And I think it was only when I started doing park run, I actually learned to enjoy running.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine, her husband, he's actually been in the front line with Mo Farah at London Marathon, so he was like an elite athlete.
Yeah.
And she got quite high profile in cycling, and she just kept saying to me, just do what you want to do, you've got to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And with park run, I started enjoying it more, and then that's when I found this book. And so he was an Olympic athlete. I think he was 800 meters, I can't be sure. But when he retired, he wanted to make running accessible for all. So he came up with this method, which is commonly known as jeffing, Jeff Galloway jeffing.
Okay.
And it basically breaks it up. So, for example, I did London Landmarks half marathon 2 years ago. I ran for 90 seconds, I walked for 30 seconds, and I did it in, I think it was 2 hours 15.
Yeah,
my second.
That's with walking as well. Yeah,
second quickest.
Yeah, that's good.
He's had people do sub 3 hour marathons jeffing.
Really?
I don't know what ratio, but
there's still a walking there somewhere.
Yeah.
And across a full distance marathon,
Yeah.
That's still a lot of walking in that, though.
Yeah.
It's full distance. Crikey.
So when I did what got me into the marathon was thinking I can do a marathon. And I think when I first started jeffing, I was doing 5-minute run, 30 seconds. It was either 30 seconds or 1 minute walk.
Oh, right, yeah.
And
There's a big disparity there, though. 30 seconds or a minute.
I
That's
can't
double.
remember.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But my thinking was, I'm not running a marathon, which is 26 miles.
Yeah.
I'm running 52 little runs, knowing that after 5 minutes, I get a little walk.
Yeah, okay.
And it's not just the mentality of it, it's good for the heart, and you get less injuries.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Why did you get less injuries?
You're just not constantly pounding.
Yeah, because the distance is the same.
Yeah, it's just not that pound on the concrete.
Yeah.
It's just that little break. And you can run it, you can walk it slow, you can walk it fast, it's up to you. So, but yeah, I think if it hadn't been for that book, I probably never would have considered doing a marathon.
It's interesting when let's wind the clocks back a little bit.
Yep.
You're talking about the passing of your dad, age 76. All right, who was a photographer, and that you did that 10k run the morning after with an hour's sleep and 2 scoops of porridge or whatever. But you take that event in your life, then the next event, as in thing that's clearly a marker in your journey to becoming a marathon runner. Is the book. Right, so you've got a family member, a book written by a complete stranger that you've never met. Have you ever met him?
No.
Okay, and he's not with us now, is he?
No.
Okay, so has there been a third, since you got the book from Jeff Galloway's book, has there been a third point in your, no pun intended, marathon journey that has been a person, a book, a life-changing, something that's kept you going?
Yeah.
Okay.
So last year I had a milestone birthday. I think we all know what that is now. Thank you, Tristan.
Hawaii.
5-0.
We got there.
So
I have ways of making you talk.
So since that dreaded COVID year, I think a lot of people drank to excess, and I mean really to excess.
Yeah. So hang on. Let me jump in there. When you say a lot of people,
that included me.
There you go.
It was a case of at 4 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock yet?
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah.
We had lovely weather.
Yeah,
we sit in the garden.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't do a lot else.
Yeah, I trained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I was reverse.
Yeah.
In lockdown. Because I had to do a virtual 10k just before we locked down.
Right.
And so I went the opposite.
Yeah.
And I started drinking.
Yeah.
Too much.
Okay, so it's what, March 2020.
Yeah.
We go into lockdown, and idiots like me just train harder and longer. Yeah. But smart people like you put your feet up and start drinking alcohol.
Yeah.
How many times a week were you drinking?
Most days.
Okay, so like 5-6 times a week.
Yeah.
Was it on your own or with your husband or friends?
With my partner, yeah.
Yeah. So your partner, okay. Right. Is he a drinker as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you drinkers like that before?
We like to drink, but not to that extreme. Yeah.
And I suppose because we didn't have to get up and go to work in the normal manner.
Yeah.
People that work in the front line, the army, the armed forces, hospitals, nurses, fire engines, street. I get that they still had to go to work.
Yeah.
But a lot of the population didn't have to go to work, or they'd even work from Zoom or Microsoft Teams at home. And it's interesting. So you've done that. You've got used to running. You've now started drinking. Yep. So what did that excess drinking, do to your body?
Yeah, so as well as that in lockdown, I had, due to medical conditions, I had to go into an induced menopause to try and help an issue. Mm-hmm. This was literally just before lockdown, and so I was basically, right, we give you these injections, we put you into the menopause, here's some tablets which will probably help alleviate the symptoms, off you go.
Yeah.
Then I had 7 months where I couldn't see the doctor who had done this. Yeah. So I was drinking, which I now know is not advisable when you're going through a menopause, because it just makes it worse.
It's not advisable at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the combination of the two, because the tablets they gave me, I later to reduce the symptoms. I later found out you should not consume more than 2 units of alcohol with these tablets. Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, probably a day I was easily drinking a bottle of wine and maybe a gin and tonic or 2.
And yet you strike me as someone who would at the very least consider that, without even reading the label, that to not drink alcohol at all while you're on a prescribed medication.
Yeah. Which normally I would, but yeah.
Now that's interesting. It'd be very hard to prove as to why you chose to essentially ignore that, because that's not always read the label. You'd have been 49, 50. No, at that age you'd been what, 45, 46?
45, mid-40s, yeah.
So old enough to know better.
Yeah.
But we think, okay, it's okay because I haven't got to get up and go to work tomorrow. But your organs don't know that.
Yeah.
Because alcohol is ethanol. Yeah. It's a poison.
Hand gel.
That's right. Yeah. COVID. Yeah. They mix it with vegetables. Yeah. Mix it with bacteria to make alcohol. Yeah. So by alone, that's toxins and poisons in the body. I like a pint of Guinness. I like a glass of bubbly at Christmas or something like that. So you're mixing a prescribed medication with alcohol, and your words, excess alcohol. Yeah. And it wasn't as social as it, because you're in your house. Yeah. There's a social element to it because you're with your partner, your husband, not your husband, partner. Okay, right. When did you stop?
When did I stop? I never stopped fully. I think the continued drinking at home carried on for several years.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that does put pressures on relationships.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we had some problems with that.
Okay.
But we got help and stuff, so that was good.
Yeah.
But then as I was, so when I was 49, I thought, I really want to get out the habit. I don't want to stop drinking completely because I enjoy it. Yeah. But I want to get out the habit of drinking at home in particular.
Yeah, good start. Yeah.
So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give up alcohol for a year. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, when do I start this?
Yeah.
So also at the same time, I thought, when I turn 50, I want to run at least 50k and do an ultra marathon.
Wow.
So ultra marathon is anything above 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
So I decided to do not just any ultra marathon. I decided to do the Lady Bower Ultra, which was 54 kilometres, which is 34 miles.
Let me just jump in there. For those of you watching around, hopefully in the UK, we've got some viewers that watch from the USA. Yeah. Lady Bower is like a big lake in northern England. Is it Derbyshire or is
Derbyshire,
it Derbyshire?
Peak District.
The Peak District. It's an incredible scene to see. You can see it from the peaks. Yeah. I like the Peak District. I've driven through and I've walked through Lady Bower area. It's incredible actually. So you're talking about a vast expanse as well, really open. Yeah. Yes, there's hills, but it's still it's bandit country if you're in the wrong.
It is, yeah. Yeah, there was always that fear of, am I going to get lost?
Yeah. So that's an ultra marathon, 50 miles.
No, 50 kilometres, 34 miles,
Okay.
So as well as thinking about I'm going to give up alcohol, I'm going to do an ultra. And my partner said he would do it with me, which I'm glad he did, because I would be probably still running up in Scotland somewhere lost. Yeah. So I decided, when do I actually do this? And I thought, do I stop the drinking after my 50th, after I've had a party? Or when do I do it? And anyway, that year, sadly, my brother got diagnosed with terminal mouth cancer. And he won't mind me saying this, I don't know if he was in denial against it, but two of the things that contribute to mouth cancer is smoking and drinking, and he did both. And to excess. So yeah, consequently he got a late diagnosis of mouth cancer and basically said it's palliative care. We can't treat this. So that was the August, and
which year is this now?
This was 2024. So I thought, right, now's the time to start my year without alcohol. So in the beginning of September, went on a little camping trip, had my last drinks.
How many? 2 or 3?
Well, put it this way, I fell out the tent.
And the tent's on the floor.
I ended up with a black eye, so I thought that was a good time to stop. So I did the full year. I had about 3 birthday parties. People kept saying to me, "You are going to drink on your 5th year." No, a year's a year.
It's catching that.
So I basically did the full year, and then I didn't have a drink until after I did my ultramarathon.
Like a lot of things in life, Sarah, addiction or forms of addiction are chronic. They you can pick it up overnight. This new, I'm going to start smoking, I'm going to start drinking, I'm going to start gambling, I'm going to start overeating. You can decide and action that within the hour. But the actual chronic habit that becomes an addiction can take so long and drip fed that it's hard to actually, the self-awareness isn't there to say, I've got a problem. You mentioned that your brother was a drinker and a smoker. Okay. He would have been aware that it's not good for his health. Okay. In the same way, athletes have denial. When athletes get injured, usually endurance athletes, you know what I mean, but runners, swimmers, cyclists, and golfers as well. They deny the clear and obvious presentations that their chosen sport or hobby, pastime, is what's injuring them. But because they're so addicted to the high and so people can have addictions to health and fitness as well. I've been training since I was 11 years of age, and I'm 55 now, and I'm not addicted to exercise. I know I'm not. I think I hope I'm not addicted to anything. Probably when I was younger, maybe vinyl records. You know what I mean? Vinyl.
Are you're addicted again now?
No, the addiction's gone. I'm just passionate about vinyl. I like vinyl, but I know it's not an addiction. Having said that, okay, so your brother's passed. 2024.
He passed last year, so on the 6th of April.
So who is it? So from when he went in and got diagnosed, he was around for 8 months.
It's about 7 months.
7 months, sorry.
7 months.
What was that like at the time for you?
I was basically there as much as could be for him. He just before, so they gave him some radiotherapy to try and help. He got a lot of side effects for that, so that was the start of him going in and out of hospital. Around the Christmas time, just after Christmas, they were really struggling to get his pain control at home. So he went into St Barnabas Hospice, where they initially said, you'll probably just be in for a few weeks while we get your pain under control. He was there 6 weeks, and then they thought he was at a level where he could go home, so he went home for about a week, but suddenly he was back in again. And then 6 weeks later, beginning of April, 6th of April, which was the day of the Lincoln 10K, I get a call at 5 a.m. in the morning to say, you need to come in, he's deteriorated. So I'm thinking, here we go again, it's the day of the 10K. I thought, what do I do? So I just grabbed my running stuff and just we went up there. They wouldn't let us through the roads because the roads were closed. So I literally had to scream at them to let us through to the hospice because it's on the course. Went and sat by his bedside and talking to the nurses up there who are absolutely amazing. They are angels. The care and compassion you get from them, you couldn't pay for it. They were that good. And I said to one of them, I says, I'm supposed to be doing the 10K. I don't know what to do. They said, well, only you can make that decision. I says, well, what if he passes while I'm doing the 10K? Well, if he passes, he passes.
Yeah.
So I then made that decision, right, I'm going to do it. Needed to go get run stuff from the car. Steve needed to pop home for the dogs. So I went out to the car to get my things. And when I came back, he was gone. He had waited for me to leave the room because, and they say a lot of people do that.
Yeah, it's interesting how someone can actually be in control of themselves like that, you know, at the worst point in life, you know. What was his age?
He was 59.
Okay, I consider that to be young.
Yeah,
if someone at 55, you're
50?
51, no 50.
50, not yet.
59 is young.
Very young.
My dad's 82 and a half.
Yeah.
My mum's 79. So 59 is just playing at it really, isn't it? They say the new 75 is 85.
Yeah.
You know, if you live a moderately healthy life, you get to 85.
Yeah.
And I think 85 is a good innings, you know.
Yeah.
75 is a good innings if you're only 55. To have another 2 decades is almost done. Okay, what do you, sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Yeah, both your dad and your brother. That's tough going, you know. Other than losing a child, I can imagine that's the next worst scenario. If not possibly, for someone else might say it's even worse because, you know, you all come from the same bloodline as well. What if you could learn something from your brother? Okay, your brother's not just his plight, but also what he did in life. Is good. Okay, what's a good thing you can learn from your brother?
He distanced himself from the family for quite a number of years.
Okay.
But
catch it. That's quite common that as well.
But he made up for it in his last few years,
Yeah.
and I think his regret was he didn't do it sooner because he was just there for Mum all the time, and that made it harder for Mum when he did pass because he'd been there for her, and he was trying to make amends for lost years. So
was he a smoker and drinker of that level when he became estranged from your family or distant? Sorry.
Not so much. Yeah, he ended up. So he got divorced, but he ended up situation that he ended up carrying on to live with his ex-wife for lots of years.
Yeah.
So that's going to be quite stressful for anybody, which I think contributed to him probably drinking as much as he did, a coping strategy.
Yeah.
But in all fairness to his ex-wife, she had ill health. They looked after each other.
Okay.
And actually, after he died, she really struggled, and consequently, she died 7 months after him.
Crikey. Yeah.
Like she was missing him.
Yeah, it's actually there's a lot of evidence out there, Sarah, and there is as well. There's almost borderline empirical evidence to show, or at least contemplate, that stress through something like divorce, breakups, cancer, someone else dying in the family, it could be something that's not as, I wouldn't say less important, but not as dramatic. Even losing a job or something like that. Stress is one of the worst. There's probably an argument for it's the worst thing biologically for the body.
Yeah.
You know, because what is stress? It's a hormone that's released into our body, and if it's chronic and it's all the time, and it's stress that's not come from a sports injury or work-related injury, something that's come from internal or external from other people. We call it intrinsic, extrinsic. You know, often stress is a manifestation of a relationship with somebody else, someone at work, someone in the family, next door neighbours. You know, I've heard enough stories in my line of work to at least consider that stress can be a killer. It can you know, lead towards brain malfunction. It can lead towards cardiac arrest. A breakdown in tissue, muscle in the body, which leads to atrophy, which leads to a weakened body as well. If you put on top of that, Sarah, alcohol and nicotine, it will stop a rhino. You know, and not just that. On top of alcohol and nicotine, then after that, there's pharmaceutical dependency as well. You know, at the moment, according to reports, it's something like 71% of prescribed antidepressants in the USA, Australia, Canada and the UK are for women.
Right.
Yeah. That's a high. That's a high amount. Granted, it shouldn't be 50-50. Why would it be? You know, you'd have to almost deliberately pick and choose who they.
You know why I think that is?
Go on.
Because a lot of women, when they reach menopause, are given antidepressants.
Yeah.
And Davina McCall has really increased awareness of menopause, and she is doing a lot to. It should be talked about. It should be understood more, and I believe a lot of employers now are being more understandable of women going through it. But most doctors, as soon as a woman in her menopause goes to the doctors, they'll say, you're depressed. And it's not. It's the hormones.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've been
But a
through
GP
menopause twice.
Yeah.
So I'm learning from the first time.
Yeah.
And getting the right help now.
If a GP was to say to you, a woman or a man GP, it's in the title, they're general practitioners.
Yes, so they know the basics.
Yeah, and actually, I actually work with, I've trained GPs, and they're very, very knowledgeable people, but they are general practitioners. They can specialise in a particular module or particular, like a physiotherapist can work in cardio. You know, if a GP also specialises in, it could be pharmaceuticals, but generally, I think nowadays, yes, we go and see our GP. I go and see my GP, you go and see yours. But it's incumbent upon us to actually say, okay, Mr. Doctor, you know, Dave or Linda, whoever they are, can you point me towards a specialist, please?
Yes, definitely.
And actually, so it's almost reciprocal at their end, they should do. What they shouldn't do is say, okay, the next 20 people through the door, you're all depressed, you know? And actually, I'll be very surprised if a GP actually not just sort of thought that, not just said that, but generally thought that if 20 women of between the age of 40 and 50, shall we say, 50 up to 50, 55, came through the door showing all these symptoms, I'll be very surprised if every GP would think you're depressed, take these drugs. The issue is though, they're seeing 1,000 people every hour, not literally, but you know, and especially 6 years ago when the Great Reset came. You've had some physical, mental, emotional trauma. Again, probably the worst kind other than losing a child. But equally, your physical and mental traumas have also come from you outwards as well with alcohol. You didn't smoke, did you?
No, never smoked.
Do you know something? I wonder in 2026 why anybody would take up smoking. It's such a big business. About let's have a look. About 14 years ago, I trained a South African woman. She'd have been in her 60s then. I was in my 30s, I reckon. Late 30s. She came from a South African family, white South African family, who had a tobacco empire, to say the least. And of course, I got to hear about her from all that comes with it. And I thought, okay, they're in the business, in the tobacco business, to guess what? Make money. Right, and I understand that it's a business. What I can never grasp is why somebody, an adult, let's say an adult. Well, officially it's 18 and over. Other things it could be 16 and over. Let's say 18 and over, then we've got through clear and present danger. When someone's 18, they are well out of school, Why would someone take up smoking at 18, 19 years of age? If they started smoking behind the school gates and on the estate when they're young, you know, I'm from North London, crikey, everyone had a go at it. And if it stayed with them, but some people take up smoking in their mid to late teens or even 20s. You know, that seems like the most absurd thing because they can't not know that it's really, really detrimental to our health. I trained a woman in 2011 who had cancer, mouth cancer, into the tongue. She actually lost half her tongue. Her son brought her in to me. And I actually can't remember if she smoked or not. I'd have to contact her son now to find out. But I can remember she was with me for about 6 weeks. And the reason I trained her, she was essentially on her way out, for better words, Her son brought her to me just for a distraction for 1 hour a day. He stayed downstairs and she was like a lovely elderly lady, sweet lady, and she spoke with a lisp. Because a big chunk of her tongue had gone. And then when I saw the guy, she went into hospital and never came back out. And she lost half her jaw as well. It went down into what we call the sternos, into the clavicle, I think, even to the clavicle.
I think that happened to my brother at the end. His face was sinking in. Because it was in his jaw and his tongue.
I saw her son, and he said to me, it went from tongue, side of the mouth, into the jaw, right down. And I can remember thinking, that poor lady. But actually, I cannot remember if she smoked or not.
But it's like the alcohol. It's like when you turn 18, then most people start drinking before then. I listened to a lot of audiobooks. I can't remember which one this was about drinking. It was saying, when you first try a drink, you absolutely hate it. And the same.
Makes you feel sick.
I think, like yes, I probably have tried a cigarette and I'm like, ugh, why would you smoke that? But drink, you take the first one out, but then you have a few more. And then the effect kicks in and it's like. And
obviously drinking alcohol, it is a social thing as well. It can be the opposite. It can be, you know, a recluse can drink, a hermit in the forest can drink a pint of beer. But of course, I think the thing with smoking, it's actually really bad hygiene as well.
Yeah.
It's like a dirty thing to do.
Yeah.
Whereas drinking, okay, it can lead to liver disease, malfunction of the body, and it actually does. It can kill you. But I don't think drinking a glass of wine or a glass of champagne or a pint of Guinness is looked at as dirty or poor hygienic.
Yeah.
Whereas smoking is really bad hygiene. You know, you look at someone, you know, and they turn around and smoke, they could have a nice suit on. If it's a woman, she could have a lovely dress on and whatnot. They turn around, they've got a cigarette on. I always think, you're not just unhealthy, you're dirty.
Yeah.
Do you know that? You know, having said that though, it's a free country.
Yeah.
And people are, as adults, are allowed to do what they want. You've gone through these things. These things must come into your mind when you're running. Or do they?
I now find running a helping mechanism. There's just, I can't really describe it, but it's just getting out there, and you know, if something's on your mind, it just clears.
Okay.
So I'll either listen to music. If I'm listening to a really good audiobook, I'll put that on. But then sometimes your mind wanders, and then you miss a chapter, and it's I think exercise is great for mental health, but it's finding the exercise that works for you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because so many people say, I can't run because of my knees. I can't run of this.
Yeah. I've said that myself. Yeah.
You can do anything you want to if you want to do it.
I'll play devil's advocate on that. A man who's 5'6" is not going to play power forward in the NBA.
Is that basketball?
Yeah, sorry, basketball. yeah, he's not. A 3'4".
But he might try.
Well, they say God loves a trier. Yeah. But there is a threshold of where, and this is biology and science, physiology. There is a threshold where you actually cannot do something, even if you want to do it, and everyone's behind you pushing you. There are, you know, generally, you know, if, I took a sport like the NBA, basketball, at that elite level, because you have to actually be a physiological specimen to play in the NBA, 9 times out of 10. And not just that, a giant. By all, you know, if a guy of 5'4", 5'5", he might be a nice guy and popular. He could have good ball handling skills. But it's going to be like seeing a toddler amongst giants. Yeah. And the physiology would dictate an ideology. Right. And that sounds quite a sort of a draconian way to look at it. But someone coming from a sporting background, as I do, and then coming from anatomy and physiology as well, I've learned that the phrase, if you believe it, you can do it. If you just visualise it. And what's the one I've heard from in the last few years? Hang on. And this irks me. I get it, and I think it's womanese for. They call it manifesting. You can manifest something into existence, and this whole I can manifest breaking the 2 hours for the marathons, like the world-class African runners. The odds of that are so slim. It's pointless finishing the sentence because physiology will always dictate, or at the very least, it will override an ideology. I know that I couldn't train for a marathon now and run it with the fastest African runners in the world, break 2 hours. I'd be 99.99% sure I can't do it. Even if everyone told me you could, So I get you. There is I think there's a discussion for both sides of that, of knowing your limitations.
I think where it stems from me with the running was because I couldn't run as a child. I was wrapped in cotton wool. And I was always told I couldn't do it. So when I got older, it's like, yes, I can. Determination.
Okay, I get that.
But listen to your body.
Too often, people that play sports at weekends, they call them weekend warriors, and not always endurance athletes. It could be golfers.
I get that with part-time photographers as well.
Oh, do you?
Those who do it as a hobby and charge half the price.
Is that a dig? Oh, okay. shots fired. Let me repeat that. You just said some people take up photography. Well, they take it up.
So they take it up as a hobby. And then they go and, for example, I used to do wedding photography. So I would go and quote somebody for a wedding. And they would then turn around to me. I'd quote them the price. And they said, "Well, we've been quoted half of that." Turns out it's usually the person who does it part-time, hobbyist.
And they'll do it for half.
They'll do it for half, and they've probably never photographed a wedding in their life.
Really?
And so we call them weekend warriors.
Weekend warriors. Is that a observation, or is it a bit of a dig?
It's fact.
It's
fact.
I'm trying to think then, if I put that into my line of work, if you've got a sports massage therapist who's just qualified, His name's Dave, or she's Lisa. They've been qualified 2 weeks. They've found a room, and they say, we'll do sports massages for 25 quid. I'd like to know, well, where's this? I'm going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When normally it's 40 to 50 pounds. In London, it's up to 80, 90 pounds. But they've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So how does that equate then to a part-time weekend warrior in photography?
I would suggest to them, rather than going and do it for, because they're degrading the profession, whatever the profession is.
Yeah. Not by design.
No.
They don't know any different.
No. I would say, rather than go off and try and do it on your own, go and shadow somebody in that profession.
Yeah, most of them do actually. Yeah.
And more often than not, the person leading that profession, they will pay them. For their services.
I don't. No one comes to see a sports massage therapist or a personal trainer or a photographer to save money.
Yeah.
We go to spend money, and the transaction is soft tissue treatment, personal training, or professional photographer.
Yeah.
You know, no one goes to the cinema to save money. When people complain, this cinema costs more than that one, I said, well, you're not going to a cinema to save money. If that's the case, don't go out.
Yeah.
You know, don't even have Netflix or Amazon because they cost. All right, so you've moved on to ultra half. Is it ultra marathons or
ultra marathon?
Anything above 26 miles is an ultra marathon.
Yeah.
Right. What's your next big event?
Well, so can I just say, for that ultra, I raised money for St Barnabas Hospice.
Excellent.
So,
super.
and I think with the gift aid, it raised something like £1,600.
That's super.
So, yeah.
Well done.
So,
Sarah.
yeah, so did
I
that.
happen to know someone who works in that tent for St Barnabas very, very well,
Yes.
but I can't say him on camera. Yeah, okay.
So after that, I thought, going to have a little holiday and relax.
Where you go?
Went Cape Verde.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, west coast of Africa. Back at least 28 degrees every day.
Lovely.
It's one of those holidays, if you don't want to do much, that's the place to go.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because it's quite underdeveloped.
Yeah.
It's quite a new up and country. But yeah, if all you want is just to chill, dip in the pool, a few cocktails.
Yeah. How many?
Two down again.
Okay. Yeah.
So but yeah, we did that. Anyway, so I tried in March the ballot for London Marathon.
Yeah.
Now I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I can't remember the exact figures, but there's something like 40,000 places. Every year they get over 1 million people enter the ballot. It could be getting on for 1.5 million.
It's a major marathon.
Yeah, it's a major marathon.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I tried to get in that. I'd failed. So I thought, right, we'll have a few weeks off, think about what we're going to do next year. Anyway, in November, so I'm in the local running club, Lincoln District Runners. Every affiliated run club gets allocated one spot for the London Marathon every year. It used to be 2.
And how do they pick the person at the running club?
Well, basically, I think they all vary.
Right.
So ours, basically, they do a draw every year, and what they say is, if you've ever been picked for this place, for the club place before, you can't enter again.
Okay.
You've got to prove you've not got a place, and it's basically like a draw.
Yeah.
And it was our Christmas party, and I got the spot.
Yeah. Well,
I was like. No rest for me then.
Yeah.
So I'm doing London Marathon.
Yeah.
It's in
how many weeks?
6 weeks as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Going to do it fundraise for St Barnabas Hospice again.
Yeah.
So I started the training proper in January.
Yeah.
Then I was hit by a virus.
Yeah.
And the basic rule of thumb with running is if anything below there, don't run.
Yeah.
So my asthma's not as anything like it used to be, but I do have to still be careful, especially having the pneumonia. So I'm always caution to the wind.
Yeah.
So I didn't run all for 10 days. Then I thought, right, I need to get on with this training. So I got back out. I did I think I did a 5k and then a 10k. Okay. And felt good. The following weekend I was down to do a local race called the Rusby Ripper.
Right.
And that is basically over near Sleaford, and it's basically 9 miles of farmers' fields.
Oh wow!
Which I did it 2 years ago, and it was actually quite nice because it not been raining too much 2 years ago, but we all know what the weather's been like lately. I compared it to the Winter Olympics has just been on. I compared it to speed skating because of the mud. Yeah. But I'm like a kid in mud. You know, kids run through puddles. I didn't know when I run. Yeah. So mud, glorious
Yeah,
mud,
yeah.
as the song goes.
Yeah.
So I did that. Then the next day I didn't feel too clever. Cough, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Went back to the doctors. I was prescribed steroids because I thought it was the asthma. That didn't do anything. So then I was X-ray, ECG, all clear. And then it transpired it was down to stress. So initially, I think it's what you said to me, when you can't do the sport you love, you stress about not being able to do it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and you worry because you've got this goal coming up.
Yeah, athletes denial. Yeah.
So I think partially to do with that, my hormones at the moment, a mixture of everything.
Yeah.
It's almost a year since I lost my brother. It all basically, it was stopping me from getting better.
Yeah.
So it's like, right, you just got to chill.
Yeah.
Got to chill. So again, I think I had another week or so not running, and it's like, spoke to some running friends. They said, right, go out. If you just have to walk, to start off with walk.
Yeah.
Keep your heart rate around 150.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
So now I'm back full on, and yesterday I did 15 miles. Again, keeping the heart.
It rained yesterday. What time did you run?
I ran in the morning when it was sunny.
You missed
so
the
it
heavy
was
rain
really nice,
It came down in Lincoln.
I always like to try and get out early if I can,
Yeah.
but I'm not a morning person.
Gotcha. What's your sleep like?
It's a bit all over at the minute. Again, I think that's hormone related. So I've been to see, as you say, a specialist.
Yeah.
I'm getting that sorted. So so that's helping. But last night I slept like a baby.
Oh, great. Yeah, I did actually, yeah. Must be in the air. It's interesting, you did 15 mile run yesterday outdoors. I did barbell squats yesterday.
Right.
And they're nothing compared to a 15 mile run, I know that. But they still tax the nervous system. Although they're indoors, I'm not getting fresh air because I like being outdoors. My barbell squats, generally you've got to do them indoors. Unless and I didn't do heavy either because at my age, at 6'4", and at my age, long, thin legs, I still do the mechanics, but I don't squat as heavy anymore because of my joints.
Yeah.
But it can still tax the nervous system. It can still work on a lot of muscles in the body.
Yeah.
And no coincidence, last night, and I had 2 coffees yesterday, and I've got down to 1 a day. But I had 2 yesterday because I had to do the Mother's Day thing as well, driving around and this, that, and the third. And then, of course, I was cleaning my house because I was getting ready to sell my house. So then I'm cleaning my house in the afternoon, top to bottom, all the rooms. It's tiring. So when your body's tired and your brain's tired, generally, 9 times out of 10, you can have a better sleep.
Yeah.
And mine was unbroken as well last night. I slept for 7 hours unbroken,
Wow.
which is not, I don't normally do that. Maybe once a month, like that.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this next thing. We'll touch on it. It's a broad subject, but we've only got the rest of the year to go. What's your nutrition like?
Pretty good, I think. I like to think it's pretty good. I'm not always one for having breakfast.
Okay.
I tend to eat late morning and have 2 meals a day.
Okay. Does that work for you?
Yeah, works well.
Yeah.
Breakfast can be anything from yogurt, porridge, fruit, that sort of thing, protein shakes, like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then at night we've all got busy lives, and it's basically finding something that's relatively healthy but quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of more so when I do what they call the LSR runs, long Sunday run.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I will always make sure I carb up well on my evening meals.
Yeah.
The 2 nights before.
Yeah.
On the morning of the long run, I'll have porridge.
Yeah.
I'll give it sort of 1 to 2 hours before I run. And then for during the run, I'm a bit of a mixture really. So I use something called Tailwind, which it's both hydration and carbs in the drink.
Yeah.
But a lot of people who have gels, they find it doesn't lie well on their stomach.
Straight through you.
Yeah, go straight. So I've been using that, use that for the ultra, and it worked well.
Excellent.
I do still have some jellies because it's nice to have that little treat and have them every so often.
Yeah.
Though I am just trying these things that melt in the mouth, which again is good for people who have dicky tummies.
Yeah.
And they're also so small to carry, so it's good for the carrying aspect.
Yeah.
And then basically afterwards, I just eat what I want.
I'm not hearing, without even seeing a food diary, I'm not hearing the magic P word. You said protein's good, yeah. Now, I bet my vinyl collection.
I had scrambled eggs this morning.
Oh, okay, it's very good, yeah. Actually,
and I had peanut butter in my porridge.
Oh, great, okay. Right, protein is your building blocks, yeah? You get energy from protein. There's a misconception that energy comes from carbohydrates, yeah? Protein is a very good source of energy. And you're not going to store it as fat. the protein gets split around the body.
Yeah.
It goes to muscles, ligaments, tendons.
Yeah.
It goes to organs,
Yeah.
and some of it gets used for energy, and a small amount will be stored as fat
Yeah.
if you ate a lot of it and didn't exercise.
Yeah.
Now, why would you suddenly start in three steaks a day
Yeah.
and stop running? You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Take in more protein.
Yeah.
You should be aiming, a woman of your age, and you're not powerlifting, but you're still doing endurance
Yeah.
events, and you've still got to work and
Yeah.
run a household. Yeah, you should be aiming for about 1 gram at the very least per kilo of body weight.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Mine is a health and fitness channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you weigh in kilos?
In kilos, it's about, I think it's about 62.
Okay. 62
Yeah.
kilos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does 62 grams look like in protein? Well, a
Right.
tin of tuna is about 23, 24
Right.
grams.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, an egg is what, 6, 7 grams in an egg?
Yeah.
How many scrambled eggs did you have this morning?
I had 3 eggs.
So you had about 18 to 21 grams in your 3 eggs, plus a
Yeah.
little bit of milk in it or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. A bit of butter.
Let's say you had
Yeah.
21, 22, 23 grams.
Yeah.
If you have a tin of tuna today,
Yeah.
a flat tin, yeah, it's going to have anything between 21 and 23, 24 grams
Yeah.
of protein. You're 2/3 of the way there.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? When I have mine in the morning, I have 4 to 6 eggs, and I
Yeah.
put a tin of tuna on top of it,
Wow.
and I mix it all in.
Yeah.
So I have 45 to 50 grams of protein
Yeah.
in the morning. Sometimes I'll even put a bit of cheese on it as
Yeah.
well. But I'm 6'4",
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm on my feet all day.
Yeah.
But the theory is the same for you.
Yeah.
I would say to you, nothing to do with running, but to
Yeah.
do with recovery
Yeah.
for the brain, the ligaments, tendons, muscles, and energy source. Aim for 1 gram of protein. This is exclusive of your protein drinks.
Yeah.
Because what is a protein drink? Do you understand what goes into it? It's essentially, it's been synthesized.
Yes.
It's been split when they're making curds and whey.
Yeah.
One goes to cheese, one is the whey, that's
Yeah.
the waste. Let's use this waste.
Yeah.
Let's put sugars in it, binding agents in it, calories in it.
Yeah.
Let's colour it, put it in a nice bag,
Yeah.
show pictures of people like that or women like that,
Yeah.
and it looks great, and people like us buy it.
Yeah.
Well, what's better than that? A steak and eggs,
Yeah.
cottage cheese,
Yeah.
almonds, turkey, chicken,
Yeah.
salmon. But you said at night time you're busy and you're rushing around.
Yeah.
What are you doing that's so busy that you can't cook healthy every night?
Dog training.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Taking my mum shopping.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
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 All right.
But like now you say it, like with fish and stuff, tin of tuna with a big salad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, great, yeah,
That
yeah.
sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Greek yogurt, yeah.
Yeah.
When you have Greek yogurt, I eat Greek yogurt about 6 times a week.
Yeah.
You know, remember, always read the label. It can say low fat. Let's say low fat is 5% down.
Yeah.
10% if your body needs a bit more fat,
Yeah.
you're looking to add some weight, but generally 5% down.
Yeah.
What it doesn't say is the sugar content,
Yes.
unless you go in the back of the label.
Yeah.
So it could be low fat, but high sugar content.
Yeah. Oh, I was going
But-
for full fat.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. So that's another thing I love for roast with fruit.
Yeah, I like
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, you've looked at the running side, the work history as well with photography. You've looked at your family history.
Yeah.
You've looked at your progression in running, your progression in photography, your progression in your personal life, because you mentioned about alcohol had become a problem during the lockdown between
Yeah.
you and your partner. What's
Yeah.
his name?
Steve.
Between you and
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
Not your words, not mine.
Yeah.
Right. So you've progressed in all these things.
Yeah.
So is there an end to all these progressions after the London Marathon, which you're going to finish in one piece? Is there now, okay, right, what's the reset? Are you going to say, I'm done with progressing and everything? Or are you going to continue progressing in
We'll
something
continue.
else? What's it going to be in?
So when we did our last ultra, literally as we finished it, my partner said to me, "I think we'll go further," and I do,
Right.
but not this year.
Okay.
No. So I'm in 2 minds for this year. So I have done, I didn't mention this in the past, I've done sprint triathlons.
Right.
So that's the shorter version of a
Yeah.
full triathlon.
Yeah.
The reason I started doing them, I like the mix of training.
Mhm.
So it's not
Yeah.
just all running.
Yeah.
You've got the swimming, you've got the
Cycling.
cycling. So I was in 2 minds about whether to do that. That's in September.
Yeah.
Or we might go back to Yellowbelly Reservoir
Yeah.
and do the half distance.
Right, okay.
Just, yeah,
Right.
because it's only one hill.
Actually, you're a testament. You know, you're a real good example, Sarah, of a woman at early 50,
Yeah.
early 50, gone through trauma.
Yep.
Trauma that has again come from outside, but also trauma has come from inside. Okay, I'm not a psychotherapist or a psychiatric doctor, but what you've told me
Yeah.
is traumatic for anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. I think actually I've learnt a lot more about you in the last hour, because we've met about what 2 or 3 times at least.
Yeah,
Maybe 3. You've come into good condition for a massage years
Yeah.
ago. I've seen you at the Lincoln Business Club as well. But what's interesting, I wonder how many people when we go to these business network meetings, how many people in that room have got not necessarily a story like yours, but a story that's comparable in physical aspect, emotional aspect, mental aspect, profession, academics. I bet everyone's got a story as well. You know, one thing I think that everybody, bar none, should actually consider, irrespective of what their profession is, where they live, what they've got, if they've got £2 to the name or £1 million, is exercise.
Yeah.
You know, exercise, yes, obviously good nutrition, good sleep as well. But with the advent of the internet and social media and YouTube and books and libraries and whatnot, which are free, why don't people go and do research and get into health and fitness? And the answer is because it takes effort. It takes effort. It takes self-reflection. It takes effort. It takes discipline. It takes consistency, knocks and bangs, aches and pains. And actually, in today's society of everything being immediate and put in front of us, there's a real push from businesses as well to keep people unhealthy. I actually did I've done some I've read some interesting articles, and also as a trainer and a therapist, I've witnessed it myself, that it is also in the interest of certain businesses to keep Sarah and Tristan, unhealthy. And it's not just cigarette manufacturers or alcohol manufacturers or everyone says big pharma. I think that one's quite an easy one to say, big pharmaceutical businesses. One of my closest friends owns a pharmaceutical company. And it's made him very wealthy out of it. But he doesn't push that on his kids or his wife. You know, that's business. And I think actually that if people can realise there are 101 things to keep us unhealthy. Now there might be 101 things to keep us healthy, but we have to look for them and embrace them and actually get involved.
I would be interested to know what revenue the government makes from the tax on alcohol per year.
Oh, right.
Because I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and they said these days, if you went on Dragon's Den to try and push alcohol, they wouldn't entertain you.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's taxed so heavily.
Yeah.
And
if they did limit alcohol, that would do a lot of good for the NHS as well, because there wouldn't be half, if not 3/4 as many people from the consequences.
And yet it's a big business.
Yeah.
It's a big business. So, you know, crikey, half of Chicago couldn't be wrong in the prohibition. Between Chicago and New York, what they were doing with prohibition as well, it's still a business. And of course, you know, you think about it, it's also I think it's too easy to consider alcohol to be working class as well. It's a high class problem as well. Like cocaine. You know, when cocaine first came from South America and other places into the USA, it was a quote, it was a bourgeois high class drug.
But alcohol's more potent.
Yeah, well, it's actually, and it's legal. You know, so interesting. Well, let's wrap it up and talk about links to Yellowbelly photography. Okay, is there a website? Is there a social media page?
Website is yellowbellyphotos.com. That's photos with an S, because if you do it without, you'll end up talking to a company in London who I often get phone calls from, who photograph actors and actresses.
Right.
But I don't think I've ever had anybody that well known phone me up yet. So I often have to refer them back to.
Right.
I'm also on Facebook. And coming soon, I'm launching a new site to my business called Yellowbelly Paws and Portraits.
Right.
So
dogs and people. Portraits?
Paw as in P-A-W, T-R-A-I-T.
Paw.
As in dog paw. Paw, P-A-W traits.
Right. Oh, I see.
But the paws bit is, we also do a little bit of home from home dog care. So a lot of people put their dogs in kennels. We're going to offer the service where they come to our home like a hotel.
Hang on though, but you can't undercut them and do it half price though.
No, I won't. I've got advice from very good people who know exactly what to charge, and I'm working in conjunction with them.
Right. You got a lot on.
Yeah,
you got a lot on.
I like to keep busy.
Yeah. What's the alternative? You know.
Yeah.
Although,
watching Netflix.
I got rid of mine. I've got no problem with Netflix, but I unsubscribe from certain channels that become distractions as well.
I generally do in the summer.
I'll go back to them, but I spend a lot of time outdoors, a lot of time at work, you know. Interesting. Okay, well, what I'd like to do is bring you back in after April to do a talk about how we did in my old town, my old city.
Yeah, no problem.
So, salute when you go past certain landmarks and whatnot. I think it's, you know, I've never trained for a marathon, let alone done one. I can imagine it takes a lot out of your body, and a lot out, even out of the mind as well. So good luck with that, Sarah. And again, if you'd like to contact Sarah, very good photographer, knows her stuff, and you fly those things in the air as well with a license. Drones, then contact at Yellowbelly. My name's Tristan Lowe, the channel's Health No Filter, and here we are now, mid-March. I'll touch base again with Sarah in April once she's done the London Marathon. I'd like to wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. Now, hang on, quick handshake. That's a good strong grip. I always ask my guests, nothing to do with work, nothing to do with training. 3 questions, rapid fire answers.
Right.
What's your go-to movie?
Green Mile.
Green Mile. Tom Hanks. Was it Tom Hanks? Green Mile. What's your go-to artist or album?
Queen.
Freddie Mercury. He's gone. And what's your go-to destination other than places you've been to already?
Other than what I've already been to?
Other than Cape Verde, where would you like to go?
New York.
New York. You've been to New York before? Before. Okay. To do a marathon or just to walk around?
I just want to run around
Central Park.
Yeah.
Why do women like... Right. Aren't you going to go on one of those things, a little horse-drawn carriage, and put a blanket over you and Steve? You know what they do?
Maybe when I'm 80.
Crikey, New York. Same great, they named it twice, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Green Mile, Queen, and run around Central Park. Okay, excellent. There you go. We find a bit more about you human. You know what I mean? So excellent. Until the next one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You can catch me on YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, and all the socials. Thanks to Sarah Washbourn from Yellowbelly Photography. And until the next one, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.
Bye.